Hello, everybody. Corey Wayne Anderson here. I am making a video. It's been a very, very long time since I've made one. I spent the last 10 minutes sitting here getting this prepared because I have a story and I want to share it. Because it has something to do with something real, it has something to do with life. I just turned 30 this month. Today is February, I believe the 28th, and it is around 10:20 at night, 10:20 p.m. I go by Wayne. Wayne's the name I share with my father. I'm going to start doing recordings once a week, talking about my progress, because I found myself in a shithole of a situation. And I have to climb out of it. And I'm going to do this in front of everybody. Because I know with who I want to be, I have to have the fruit on the tree. And I have to keep trudging forward to build that fruit, regardless of the things that happen to us, circumstances we get ourselves involved in, or what happens to us that sets us back or ruins the progress that we made. The last endeavor I was in was trucking, and I made a mistake that costed me my position in trucking. And not only that, but it does not look good on paper. So right now companies see me too much as a liability, which I completely understand, because trucking is one of the hardest industries out there, and it is very, very costly. So I have no complaints about I got myself here, and I have to deal with the consequences. And bitching and complaining about it is not going to do anything. But during the process of that, starting with trucking, I risked a lot of what I had. I risked just about everything I had going for me. And I made a mistake that set me back tremendously and costed me the things that I risked. But such is a thing as life, right? Because we have to take risks in order to move forward. And we learn from the mistakes that we make, and the pain forces us to grow into a better person. And I know, as a human being living on planet Earth, I'm not the only individual that deals with these types of situations. I'm not the only individual that makes a mistake and deals with the repercussions of it and gets set back far. I moved to another state after that. I live with family, and I'm grateful for that. So I do still have a roof over my head. And I had another member of the family relying on me to make this a success, because they had an ideal of starting their own trucking company, leaving something behind for our family, building a type of legacy. I seen his vision, I believed in the vision, and I wanted to help. And with the things that I've been desiring to do, I trudged. I took that leap of faith because I seen it in alignment with the things that I wanted to create as well. But something I had a conversation with another gentleman recently, a brother, and he was talking about sometimes the things that we try so hard into that they just still don't happen. There are some things from my experience too, it doesn't matter how hard we try, it still just won't happen. And regardless of the case, that all led me back to being here. Because then I've learned about dealing with this process, the things that my mind naturally caters to, the things that I just automatically go back to, which is self-development, new thought, higher consciousness, and fitness, training, being healthy. Because I really sat down and I really looked at, like I just said right now, the things that I'm naturally pulled to, but I also had to get on paper who exactly I wanted to be when I was younger and before I even knew the world that I actually lived in. Sitting here today, I have a lot more experience with the world and how hard things actually are. Life is not easy. It is not easy living in this society. There are expectations we must meet as a human being just to live, just to survive. And we have to become something extraordinary to thrive, to live in a state of abundance, to live beyond just what is required of us. Because if we just do what's required of us in this life, we will barely get anything. We won't. We have to be extraordinary. My dream was to be extraordinary. To be one of the greatest life coaches this world knows. Moving out here, I left a lot of things behind. I had to. I am still very grateful. I know my situation is still better than what a lot of other people have to deal with. I'm grateful for that I at least still have this position to work with, because it could have been a heck of a lot worse. I do still have my Class A, so trucking's not gone from me forever. You know what, I'm already 30, and it's time to really build something of substance for myself. We've been going through Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. We're on the chapter on imagination. And in imagination, the most recent part we read, he was talking about desire force, this electrical impulse that happens within our body. And desire force is a product of nature. It is a natural law. And the force of desire, I know Charles F. Hannell, from what I remember, says desire sets the law of attraction in motion. It's what brings things to us. Thought is what connects us to the things that we want, but desiring it is what brings it to us. And of course, when it comes to us, we take action when it happens. Because I have been thinking a lot about getting back into personal training. Because I thought what is the one thing that I've been doing this entire time, regardless of all these other things that I tried? And it just hit me: fitness. I've been training almost 15 years now. I got NASM certified when I was 21. I was valedictorian. I was at the top of my class. I had the best transformation. I've changed people's lives. But being the age I wasn't sure if it was what I wanted to do, right? I was 21, I was 22, I was a young cat. I had options. I've learned the amount of options we do have here in the United States. Sometimes it can be a problem. I've heard somebody talking about options too. Options can be a huge problem because you have so many options, you don't know which way you want to go. Because you could be great at either of them. We could be great at anything that we put our mind to, that we focus on and concentrate our own consciousness, our awareness, and put our thoughts towards. Because we build upon that talent, we build upon that skill. It becomes a part of who we are, and we just keep getting better and better. And all the things that I've tried that I've made a mistake at, that set me back, the only thing that kept me going was fitness. The only thing I kept doing was fitness. And for the last decade, 8 to 9 years, we've been training with NASM's OPT model. And then it hit me. They say it takes 4 years to master something. On average, 4 years, 10,000 hours, whatever. Somebody can master something extremely quick, especially with the power of imagination and how imagination could help change the mind to be or do something just as fast as actually doing the thing itself physically. Rehearsing something in our mind does just as much in changing who we are, and helps us build the skills that we're focusing on just as quickly as doing the thing physically. So when you use imagination and visualization and you rehearse what it is you want to do, who it is that you want to be in your mind, and then you go out and physically do it too, you may master something a heck of a lot quicker. Back to what I was saying, realizing fitness is the thing that I've mastered 4 times over, just about. And so what the hell am I doing? What are you doing, Wayne? What are you doing? You have this thing right here. It's been with you this whole time. The situation you're in now, you're not getting any younger. We're not getting any younger, and we're in a shithole of a situation financially. We had debts to pay, bills to pay that we're backed up on, which isn't cool. And it's my fault. It's my fault. I made the mistake. I have to fix it. And I'm going to do it in front of everybody. And if you're watching this video, if you ever made mistakes, if you ever had people relying on you, and you fuck it up, I'm right here with you. They say everything happens for a reason. Whether those reasons are because we're the ones that made it happen, or whether because it was supposed to happen, regardless of the choices or the thinking that we had at the time of when it happened. whether we were supposed to make that mistake or because that mistake was made because of my thinking at the time about the situation and circumstance. Because I had to make a decision, and the decision I made was not the right one. You know what? At least you made a decision, Wayne. And you're learning from it. So we're going to start building our channel. We're going to start working towards the development of ourselves. Again. Because regardless of all these things, I still want to be a great man. An extraordinary man. I want to be one of the world's greatest life coaches. I want to help people, and I want to help them change their life for the better, to become better, to be a better person, to rise to the occasion, to rise above the occasion. Because we have the power as spiritual beings with a mind living in this body. We have the power to change our lives for the better. We just need not only to know how, but we need to become a better person ourselves. So, it's been a very, very long time since I've last went through this system. I have the Master Key system with me. We're going to go through it again. Now, the Master Key system is over a century years old. It is one of the most prominent books, systems that was created within the New Thought movement. It's written by a man named Charles F. Hannell. Charles F. Hannell was a very successful businessman during his time. Was responsible for selling salt and a lot of other things. And he was involved in a lot of organizations and groups. It'll tell us as we go through the introduction of the Master Key system. And of course, we're going to continue to go through Think and Grow Rich. So that being said, this is my first video, and I will see you in the next one.